Before we continue with this video, stay until the end because there's an exclusive about Caio Jorge. Flamengo is increasing their offer and making everyone crazy. The market is going wild. It's the biggest offer in the history of Brazilian football. Look. 1 million real prizes have been awarded in the million picks. Instant scratch-off prizes up to 100,000 reais go directly to your account if you win. And to top it off, now it's the last prize of the second day of the year, January 2nd. But it's the last prize of this New Year's batch. You can compete for 2 million reais, a 1 million prize. 3 prizes have already been given out. There's also the 100,000 also instant, but you can compete tomorrow in the last New Year's prize, January 2nd, 2 million reais. Be sure to claim your Million PIX Benefits Club points now, okay? You have products, experiences, and more, and you still get to compete for prizes always, right? So take advantage because this is the last prize of the turnaround prize, which ends tomorrow on the 2nd with 2 million reais. Oh, and look, just letting you know that you can secure your spot at the South American Recopa with a ticket, games from the Brasileirão Carioca, Copa do Brasil, Supercopa, travel, accommodation, and ticket. You can also reserve your spot with Haroldo's Caravan. These are the top national and international competitions. Early in the year, there's the Carioca, Brasileiro, Copa do Brasil, and Libertadores. Haroldo's Caravan lets you reserve your place at every Mango game. With the Caravan, you won't be left out, man. Go for it. Just reach out to Haroldo's Caravan. The link is in the description, actually in the pinned comment, the WhatsApp contact. You can get in touch with Haroldo, with the people from Haroldo's Caravan, and you'll be very well taken care of. And here's a detail, huh? You can secure your spot at international finals, Flamengo at the South American Recopa against Lanús, games in Buenos Aires, games in Brasilia, and also the Supercopa. So take advantage, call right now because you won't be left outside. Utanic, learn more, tradução avor artrim. Say it turned. It's turned, right? Did you just wake up to have that coffee? Oh, you've been up for a while already working? On the first day, yeah, some people work on the first day. Yeah, it's work. Some people say, no, that's easy. Working at Paparazzo is easy. Man, recording Flamengo videos, look, sometimes it's 4 or 5 videos a day. And there are still people who complain, huh? Like, oh, you're talking about the same topic, you're recording videos all the time. Do you need to make money? I have to pay for diapers. I have to pay for milk. Well, not milk, because he's breastfeeding with breast milk. But look, I'm telling you, right? Yeah, people are complaining a lot. They complain, but they enjoy life a little less. If the video is repeated, if you think the news is similar to another, just skip it. Man, there are a bunch of Flamengo channels. Most of them are my friends, all my friends. Choque, Rafla, Flazoeiro, Professor Pedro, Felipe Fontoura. Then on Instagram, you'll find Flabolado, Coringa, and several partner channels to follow. And look, I just want to say the following, to wish a happy new year to all the friend channels of Paparazzo Rubro-Negro, right? I can't forget David Sharp, Bruno Castagna, everyone out there, right? Who's on YouTube, on Instagram, who's with us? And I want to wish a happy new year to all of you who stayed up but are still watching. News about Mango, man. There's news about Flamengo today. Paparazzo today, January 1st. Paparazzo has news about Flamengo, man. But if my dogs are playing here on January 1st, why wouldn't there be news about Flamengo, right? If Otto's awake, fed, changed, and cried, why is there still no Flamengo news? For me, it's just another normal day. I wanted to rest, right? Noik, I wanted to rest, right, son? Yeah, I wanted to rest, but here I am, right? Up all night with my son, waking up the whole night, but I'm here, man. We're here, we're around to bring you the news. Look, I want to start by reacting. There's a video by Fabiano Baldasso, man, and I was really impressed by Fabiano Baldasso's character. In moments like this, in this video by Baldasso, that's when we see a person's character, even though he sometimes jokes around and talks. There's the rivalry, there's Flamengo and Inter. There's a bit less rivalry because the clubs and the fans are friendly and all, but there's always rivalry, We know that when it's Libertadores final season or something like that, or there's an important match between Flamengo and Inter coming up, he goes, obviously he's going to speak in favor of Inter. He's going to say Flamengo is weaker. He's going to say that if you compare them player by player, Inter's players are better. But deep down, he knows the truth. And in moments like this, when there's no reason for rivalry, he shut up a lot of people, influencers from Palmeiras, Corinthians, Botafogo, Vasco, Fluminense. He shut up the whole of Brazil. He even shut up the people who like to defend Leila Pereira and Abel Ferreira. So what Baldasso did, man, is commendable. And I'm going to put it here. Let's listen together to what Baldasso said, because he deserves all the praise. Okay, Baldasso, if one day I have to criticize, or if we do a live stream, if we have that moment of discussion and everything else that we've never had, we've always gotten along very well. But I'll always remember what you said here, okay? Once again, Happy New Year to everyone. Let's keep watching here. Look, just look.
Just look at us. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. The other day I made a 10-minute video saying the following. Flamengo became one of the world's top soccer clubs, marking the first time in history we have such a major club. Congratulations to Flamengo.
Bro, that's it. He might be upset with Flamengo for signing Vital.
That's the solution to weaken Flamengo.
It's only going to increase.
Let's cut Flamengo, let's harm Flamengo, so that things are more balanced in football, covering up for all the other incompetent teams in Brazilian football. I want to mess up Flamengo itself.
International, who didn't pay Thiago Maia.
Laughing about this is absurd. This is absurd. First, financial fair play is not about that. Financial fair play demands responsibility from clubs regarding their earnings.
It would be the best for Flamengo today.
If there is financial fair play in Brazil, it is much stricter with Integro.
Flamengo is there in that position because of competence.
They didn't steal money from anyone.
Financial fair play will crack down much more. Corinthians, Vasco, Fluminense, Botafogo, which is already under a transfer ban and can't sign players for 3 windows. Financial fair play is much tougher on these clubs than on those who are doing things right. For Flamengo, for example, this works perfectly because Flamengo spends according to what it earns, and it earns a lot. It has the highest revenue in Brazil, earning 2.1 billion per year. Flamengo receives and it can spend about 1 billion. BAP made that clear. He is able to spend 1 billion based on what he earns, based on his revenue. He pays his taxes and debts without increasing them, reduces his debt, and still spends 1 billion on signings. The message that Flamengo is sending is that Flamengo is a European club. Playing in Brazil, Baldasso is absolutely right about that. There it is. And it's important for us to bring this up here. For example, just look at this. The offer for Caio Jorge, according to Lance and also Diario de Cuiabá, everyone is publishing about the offer for Caio Jorge. It's part of the strategy Bayern of Flamengo. The president of Flamengo, Mbappé, has already made it clear that he wants the club to become the Real Madrid of the Americas. In administrative terms, however, when it comes to the field and the game, the model is different. It's Bayern Munich. Oh, really? And that became clear with the offer made to Caio Jorge from Cruzeiro, okay? So the Mbappé project in this offer to Caio Jorge makes it clear. An even bigger difference between Flamengo and the other clubs in Brazil. Okay, everything is clear. Mbappé's plan to sign Caio Jorge is perfect. Okay, so look at this. Besides the technical interest in the top scorer of the Brazilian championship, the desire to sign the striker also comes from a theory similar to the one used by the powerful German club, which is to weaken the national rivals. We discussed this yesterday, but Fabiano Baldasso's statement makes it even clearer now. Cruzeiro finished third in the Brazilian Championship. And there's a surge in competitiveness, boosted by billionaire Pedro Lourenço, the owner of the club's Sociedade Anônima do Futebol. However, the president has already indicated that he will play hardball with Flamengo. The red-black team was first offered 30 million euros, but Pedrinho wants 50 million. Flamengo could include a player in the deal, lower the amount a bit, pay a little less than the 50 million and add a player. Cebolinha has Vinha, but Vinha is preferring to go to River, right? So there are other players who could be included in the deal like Luis Araujo, including Luis Araujo, who met my godson who plays soccer here in the United States. My godson is in Maceió for New Year's Eve and met the Flamengo players there, took a picture with Luis Araujo, who was really nice, right? That's an example. Luis Araujo, you're an example because of your character, because you understand that you're an idol. About a boy who plays soccer and takes pictures there, unlike some Flamengo players who refuse to take a picture with Nicolas, with my godson, right, who plays really well, by the way, and soon he'll be in Spain. And man, I'm really happy with a player who shows respect, just like Luis Araujo, a player with character, okay? So, look, Flamengo made an offer, we made another offer. Flamengo's offer doesn't satisfy us. That's what the guys said. To sell Kaio, we want 50 million euros. Pedro Lourenço responded that way, but Flamengo sent a strong message. With this attempt, for example, Bayern swept the rivals in Germany. Bayern has long boosted their squad by signing top players from national rivals, even if it means giving those clubs funds to buy replacements. Because Bayern understands that these clubs fighting against the all-powerful will end up feeling pressured to sign other players. And yesterday there were people who didn't understand what I said. That, for example, Cruzeiro signing Gerson helps Flamengo sign Caio Jorge because Cruzeiro feels pressured. Although Pedrinho is a billionaire, he owns Cruzeiro's Sociedade Anônima do Futebol. And there's a spending limit there. He has a limit on investment spending. It's his team. He's a fanatic. But there's a spending limit there, man. There's a limit. He doesn't go over the limit that's been set for Cruzeiro. It's a company. There's an investment. So, if he's going to sign Gerson for millions of euros, he'll have to sell a player. He doesn't have all that money available, so that's what I'm explaining. And when Flamengo starts beating their rivals, they're going to get desperate and will have to sign new players again. But it's worth remembering that all these rivals are dealing with debt, paying off what they owe and everything else. They can't get the money from selling a player. When they do the club's accounting, they can't actually use that money. They sell for 20 or 25 million euros just to sign new players. Let's say he sells Caio Jorge for 30 million euros. 30 million euros for Caio Jorge. And he needs to sign two players, spending the 30, right? He'll sign one for 15 or 20, but the other 10 will cover something else, like the payroll debt he can't handle. We see this a lot, of course, happening at Botafogo, which is selling and won't even be able to replace because they're under a transfer ban. But they couldn't pay Almada, just so you know, they can't pay for what they sign. So, guys, but Textor is a billionaire too, man, a billionaire company. Guys, Eagle. And do you think they work miracles? And, but it's because he's not Botafogo, they're not Botafogo, Pedrinha, Cruzeiro. My friends, there's no such miracle, there's no such miracle. I'm telling you, nobody's crazy. If it were like that, all those billionaire, millionaire tricolor fans would make Fluminense really strong too. The billionaire Flamengo fans would have made Flamengo the biggest in the world 20 years ago. That doesn't exist, guys. Look at all the wealthy Flamengo fans, like Vilela, the tricolor traveler, my friend. Happy New Year. Vilela always says that. We only have beggars, they don't pay, they don't put money in, I don't know what, and that's right, they really don't put money in, but they're not wrong either. No, so that's it. When he joins the club, he calls it the love of his life, but he's still a businessman. He invests money expecting a return. No one just gives money away. I've never seen that, not even from Qatar sheikhs. With PSG, it's all about getting a return, my friends. They're not fans of PSG. So, did you get it then? Signing top players from rival teams to strengthen the squad is a long-standing strategy. At Bayern Munich, this trend dates back to Balik's 2002 move from Bayer Leverkusen. Other notable cases include Lewandowski, 2014, Götze, 2013, and Hummels, 2019. All from Borussia Dortmund, as well as Mané from Liverpool. In 2022, we also had Goretzka from Schalke and Neuer, also in 2011, also from Schalke at Flamengo. There is an understanding that even with a wealthy financial situation, bringing in standout players from major European clubs is still difficult due to the limited visibility of Latin football in those centers. That's why it becomes more viable to invest in high-level players in the national market, which also leads to a consequent weakening and possibly a direct rival in the competition for titles. There's a possible case, that's it. Yeah, I totally agree with that theory. I think it's the best explanation. BAP has already made it clear this is his project. Turning Flamengo into the Real Madrid of the Americas is BAP's project, so I'm sure about that. Okay, that's just part of the planning, all right? When BAP talked about the Real Madrid of the Americas thing, he was talking exactly about what we're seeing happen at Flamengo dominating the national scene. Yeah, and then we have the club, man. On R7, they're bringing here, there's a column here on R7 talking about Flamengo Voraz, Caio Jorge, which was Gavia, the Rio club ready to offer Cebolinha was coming. And another 196 million. Vitão arrived and Brazon wants to join the Libertadores champion. So, this is R7 here. Sports bringing it. It's Flamengo Voraz that Caio Jorge wants. Look, R7 Sports bringing that Caio Jorge wants Gavia, wants Ninho, wants Flamengo. Caio Jorge wants to play for Flamengo, right? And that Flamengo is going to offer Cebolinha and Vinha plus 196 million for Caio Jorge. Yeah, and then they say in the article here from R7, look, BAP wasn't bluffing, okay? Flamengo keeps pushing hard to strengthen their squad even more, and in their strategy, it's worth offering money, players, and calls to the desired athletes. In other words, what a lot of people call harassment. But Pedrinho too, Pedrinho and Lourenço, with all their mastery, do the same thing at Cruzeiro, right? And a lot of people do it. Yeah, look at that. R7 Sports reports that Tite's interest in Everton Cebolinha is real. So the 50 million euros is just a wish or request for Pedrinho, so the amount could decrease. Pedro Lourenço, the owner of Cruzeiro Sociedade Anônima do Futebol, that's it, so it's here. In the R7 article, it says they would accept 42 million euros plus Cebolinha, or it's a lower amount, plus Cebolinha and Vinha, or another player. They're also selling their left back, so they might need a left back, right? There's that too. So is that it? This article makes it clear, right, that according to R7, Flamengo is not a bluff from BAP. Flamengo really wants to do this and is trying to become the Bayern of the Americas, right? Wait, the article was already finished when we conducted our exclusive investigation. I stopped, I cut the video here to bring you the news. Check this out, look at this. Flamengo raised their offer and now everything that's coming out on the internet is just speculation here and there and all that. There's real information that emerged with Andre Hernandez, Bruno, and Bruno Andrade. But now this one is exclusive. This new information that you're following here on Paparazzo Rubro-Negro's social media. Flamengo is raising the offer. That's the message Flamengo is sending to the market, to the world, to Pedro Lourenço, owner of Cruzeiro Sociedade Anônima do Futebol. Flamengo is making the biggest offer in history for a soccer player in Brazil. It's the biggest offer in Brazil's history. Flamengo is raising the offer. Do you want Cruzeiro? Zanaro Pedrinho said 50 million euros, not 40 or 50, but that's not real. Caio Jorge's market value is 25 million, we know that. Flamengo is offering 7 more than Caio Jorge's market value, 32 million euros. How is that? What's the breakdown of that? Paparazzo, here's the thing. 24 million euros in cash, 24 million in cash. The rest, the 8 million that will make up the 32, which is the biggest offer in history. Everton Cebolinha. Flamengo believes that Everton Cebolinha is valued at 8 million euros. It's 24 million euros in cash plus 8 million from Everton Cebolinha, making up 32 million. And there's more. The offer is even bigger. Flamengo is also offering 10 more in added value on a future sale, on the profit from a future sale. If there's a future sale of Caio Jorge, Flamengo buys him, sells him in the future, 10 in added value goes to Cruzeiro. All of this was offered by Flamengo. That's the proposal you're hearing about from the current Flamengo. And it wasn't a bluff. There was no bluff, nothing like that. Flamengo really tried. They're really trying to sign Caio Jorge. They want Caio Jorge. They won't give up on Caio Jorge. We're together. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, leave a cool like on the video, and let you know that tomorrow we'll hit 2 million. All three 1 million Pix do Million prizes have been awarded. Buy points from the PIX do Million Benefits Club now using the code on screen and redeem them for products and benefits. And tomorrow, there's a prize of 2 million reais. You could win 2 million. It's hard. But what if you're lucky? So tomorrow, there's a prize of 2 million reais in Pix do Million. Enjoy, we're united. Big hug and red and black greetings from Flamengo. Wishing you and the Flamengo Nation a great year. Thanks.